I think Ezreal Karma is both up. Sure, the Ashe is still there, but if you're thinking about like duos coming out, you really only have Ezreal Karma left, and then Xayah Rakan, which Ezreal Karma will have a great time into. But it seems like maybe valuing the potential pick setup that an Ashe can bring. We know it's something that Meiko can play incredibly well.
Is it a bait?
I'm telling you, we had BLG play the other day, and BLG were first picking Ashe on blue. They first picking Karma blue, first rotation Karma on red side. It's gonna be really just curious to see how teams develop with those prios. Top Esports, though, we highlighted before the game, the fact that you don't expect him to flex it mid for Creme might mean TS is one of the teams who ends up avoiding this champion.
It's so crazy. You can talk so much about so many other big standing members, and it feels like the little guy on the block is Creme, but he can also have the biggest bark. And we've seen this guy tear it up on OMG, and it feels like he's finally joining the upper echelon of our mid laners and finally getting the respect that he deserves as a center frontliner for TES in terms of their carry potential. He's going to get his hands on his famous Akali at this point as well.
Yeah, and I think that's good. Again, when you look at Creme, no one is going to question his ability on champions. We've seen him pilot. It's just that champion pool is always going to be the big question mark, but doesn't have to worry about it right now, as Light going to pick up the Draven against JackeyLove. You got to love it. You've got to love the call-out coming through. We know Light's one of our AD carries who does play the Draven anyway, but picking it up against JackeyLove is something else.
It's something, because with the Ashe, you're probably going to get a duo squishy bot lane, and how quickly you can turn that around with a Nautilus at your back is incredible. I want to see what the answer is from Top Esports. They've got to be cooking something up. They've got to have an answer here, and I would expect it to be the safety of the Ezreal.
And again, to me, it would just make me think of hey, why couldn't we get this Karma out, provided with the shields coming out from that E and the speed ups that are there to try to avoid some of these engages. But again, just a different flavor for Top Esports when having that Ashe paired alongside the Ezreal. They're still going to be able to keep up the prio. They're going to have a lot more pick potential as we go into mid game to set up Creme on the Akali and sides, which is kind of a really nice flavor that the Ashe does bring. And now it's about banning out things in this second phase. Xiaohu, we know, has been someone who's loved things like the Talia, which of course can be a hindrance to the Akali with all of her dashes over those rocks, but first starting off with the Azir.
Actually, the matchup I think is not too bad for the Akali. Just don't want to deal with that one. A lot of sustained damage, and also just the ability to pull the Baron a lot of the time when it comes down to it. I do expect that a continued frontline strategy should be coming out here for Weibo. They need a little bit of backline damage, but they have a lot of engage, a lot of CC, and a lot of access, it feels like. They're going to ban away that Udyr as well.
Yeah, no, I'm interested, right? We've already hit on, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Talia ban potentially come out right now. You also have the Meiko, which is another huge one that Xiaohu loves to go towards, and that Pop Blossom can really just prevent some of the assassination potential to come out from Creme. But then it's about where we go for junglers. Things like the Maokai having kind of been ignored today, which has been a little bit interesting to see. We also have the Vi, if they just want to try and get some very easy point-click CC up against that Draven, and would also give Creme, a buddy to dive to the backline. Never dive a backline by yourself. You don't do it.
Unless you have 10 kills.
Well, and now the buddy's gone, Mazel. The buddy's been taken away.
Buddy system not engaged. We did get that Orianna ban as well from Top Esports, so trying to take away some of that shockwave potential, especially the spacing potential there. But that does mean we have some actually pretty interesting answers still available for Top Esports. They're going to go for the Gnar, which has been traditionally picked into the Cassante.
Yeah, and again, going to give them some nice pressure inside. It pairs well with the Akali, works well with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow that we're going to get from the Ashe. Weibo now, it's about seeing where they round out with mid and jungle. I think so a lot of explosive options there for Tian. We haven't seen all that many bans towards jungler. Funnily enough, they would have loved the Vi themselves to get on top of that Ezreal, but LeBlanc very much going to be able to do the same thing.
We saw some shenanigans the last time Xiaohu was on this pick, and he won the game for them because of it. And I'm very interested in how they can utilize this with some serious side lane pressure to really have some way of stretching out Top Esports.
It's going to be hard, though, when you're going up against double, side lane soul laners for TS, right? Akali plus Gnar, and you have to worry about the arrow. Still, though, I love that we get the Lee Sin coming out. XiaoHao's famous pick, right? That he just came into the LPL with dominating. You have a strong mid that can play with in the LeBlanc, a dive buddy for the side of Weibo, to where now for TS, the Poppy coming through. So going to try and deny a lot of those dives coming out from the dashes on Weibo's side and just buy space for JackeyLove to take over.
I love that XiaoHao's taking the Lee Sin into Tian as well. We came into this talking a little bit about the jungle matchup and how important it can be as well, but also the history between these two in very differing ways. This is also a pick from Tian that is a specialty I love. Last year when Poppy came into the meta, this guy and JJ were probably two of our best Poppies in the league. The way they think about the pathing for Poppy early on is so crucial, and it can be so deadly. So I'm looking forward to Tian trying to take an early path advantage against XiaoHao.
And that, I'm just interested to see what happens in terms of the fights that come out through these lanes, right? When you have Cryo and Bot potentially from the Ezreal and the Ashe at level 1, but on the opposite side, you have LeBlanc pushing into Akali, just so much chaos that these junglers are going to have to be able to take advantage of.
Yeah, a lot of focus on these two, but I know bot lane is going to be an absolute boxing match down there. JackeyLove and Light not known to hold punches, and I think this one's going to deliver. We have our final series of the Spring Gala in LPL 2024. It's our last series before our Chinese New Year break. 2-week drought without the LPL, but this series is going to leave us with a nice little present on the way out. Weibo Gaming taking on Top Esports. They might all have different names, but we know the banger is still the same. Let's hear those Gios ring one last time here. Game number 1 of our final best of 3.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
Silence on our end. As we get into it.
There we go. We got the Gios coming through.
A little, there we go. We see them. I hear a little bit.
Yeah, Mazel, you just gotta like break your ears like me and turn your volume incredibly loud. Then you'll be hearing the Gios.
It is just nice. Again, we can't be there in person, but little personal note is like seeing the little picture-in-picture, seeing the audience there. It gives me a little bit of good feelings to see. I think it's always important to have focus that this is a community. This is a great time to be together. And speaking of, Top Esports building up their community and their history. 600 games played as an organization. Number 8 in the LPL.
I'm always just surprised that the number is so little. And like 600 doesn't sound like a little, but there's just so many LPL games. Is 2v2 coming through? And JackeyLove
want to take it. This is a Draven. I mean, I know it's been a long time, but I don't know if you remember what a Draven does, and Light is going to let you remember that real quick as Chris going to flash. Light still holding his. He's got that deadly instinct, but first blood goes to JackeyLove anyways. Now it's Light's turn to clean up. One more axe. It's JackeyLove, though, who slams it down 2-0 for the Wonder Superstar of Top Esports.
Huge for the Ezreal. It was a bit dicey, right? I think especially once minions got their minion damage was getting involved. Level 1, like what could you do? Minions hit like a truck. But now JackeyLove already having a bounty at 2 minutes.
Dude, Tian was smiling from ear to ear in the picture-in-picture there, but here we go.
And you're going to see, right, like, I like what Chris was doing, try to body block, especially a lot of the Qs that are going to come out from JackeyLove. And they start taking minion aggro first. But then once the chase comes through, look how the minion aggro turns. Good flashes coming through from Meiko, and then JackeyLove saves his, tries to play from the Q range. I thought the flash there would be enough, but with the sweeper, with the minions targeting too, JackeyLove pulls it through.
The axe literally flying to his face, denied in the face of a wonderful play from JackeyLove. Now we actually get continued presence down here. We wanted some fighting early. Well, we got it.
Ooh, this could be dangerous, especially Top Esports bot lane just hit level 2 now, so Weibo should be at a disadvantage.
Creme can roam. Xiaohu realizing that. Tian's going in. The wallbang hits there onto Chris. Chris still level 1. So is Light.
Yeah.
This is really rough for Weibo. They shouldn't have found themselves in this position. Tian's going to get a little bit low. Light getting chunked now as Xiaohu has finally made his way over. XiaoHao going back in and immediately just gets obliterated. You'll take that all day long as Top Esports. 3-0 for JackeyLove.
Yeah, and they were hoping to... Ooh, I want to guess wait for what they were hoping to do. I want to see what Xiaohu's hoping to do. Which I know what he's hoping for. He's hoping to find Tian.
Wants to give him a little love back. Wants to try to get a little bit of a lead for himself, but can't find it.
And, like, you can see what Weibo are trying to do. Like, their bot lane can move first. Just try and burst out the Poppy before anything can happen, but it was not enough. We're gonna jump into the replay here, right? They get the wave in. Just look, like, someone
He's
can just
so close.
They can just pick up some dust, some XP
There's a
dust
ward
and
right
get there.
there. No.
And but sadly can't do that. Top esports bot lane picks up that wave. They hit 2. They move over first. And then once Creme gets involved, that's really all she wrote for Weibo. And Xiao tries to get involved, tries to find something back, but he's just not going to be able to. Great knockback from Tian there.
That's why you take this pick, right? Because in these situations with all the new terrain, there's so many opportunities to immediately bounce back against XiaoHao, who's looking for those big backline access moments.
And you know, this is kind of par for the course. So, you know, so we were talking before, I was looking at the stats. Top esports, like, second highest goal difference of 15. First, like, they have our fastest game time in LPL. They have the most champion kills per minute in LPL. Weibo are pretty much the complete opposite. They have our slowest average game time in LPL. They're bottom 3 in terms of kills. They're bottom 5 in terms of their goal difference of 15. Like, these teams have really had different journeys in their first few games of LPL. Weibo, it's been built on the back of comebacks and intelligent, like, mid-game decision-making. For top esports, it's really just been about dominating in the early stages and being able to turn that into fast stops.
That's what this team is built for, right? That's why you grab these pieces to make sure you're stopping that early game and you don't have to, you get at least a little bit easier decision-making tree as you move forward. But that's also the point I want to highlight about Weibo. It's good to stomp your opponent, don't get me wrong, but it's been impressive how Weibo have arm wrestled their way to victory so many times here at the start of the split.
I agree, and to me that's always like a telling thing of, especially some of like our more tenured and more experienced players. Ooh, I'm gonna go all the way back there.
Showing the mechanics. Yeah.
But right, it's just like the tenure. I think especially of like people like Xiaohu, people like Crisp, able to come out and win games off of like really fast sudden barons, or you realize, hey, we have a Weaver's Wall. How do we use this to win the game? So I agree. It's been very impressive to see how Weibo wins games, even if it isn't always the most convincing.
Tian gonna take the sneaky play with the Hex Flash over the wall and get the first spawn of Grubbies. Well, or at least should be a trade from XiaoHao on the other side. He's actually not going to start up the Dragon just yet. They will know now that Tian is taking those. He's actually going to try to collapse around mid lane.
We're going to see. I mean, it's going to be really hard. I mean, finding a gank on
like
either one.
Counter gank?
Yeah, potentially, but even then, I don't know if you ever assume that the enemy juggler's even going to gank when you have a Akali, you have LeBlanc, you have so many dashes, so much mobility. That can pull it through.
Or you just play like this and make them think, oh, it's an easy kill.
Oh, he's going to go now.
Ooh, nice little flash there. Creme trying to get the fancy feet. Meanwhile, bot side, approach velocity is annoying as top esports taking advantage of getting priority in bot side.
And now Xiaohu on the move, following Creme. Okay, so just going to be picking up the Sunny Creme. And also say Creme can't do anything top side anyway. 369's pushing into ZDZ. And then here you were hyping up Tian and his level of aggression on the Poppy.
Yeah, I mean, he already got good pathing to get those grubbies. Now he's going to get help from Meiko. And XiaoHao might pay the price for it. Look at that! He literally used the little lip around there to get a last-second move in the Fog of War. That's crazy.
Yeah, and ends up winning out, picks up the buff. So XiaoHao now having to run across to the opposite side. Maybe hoping to pick up that Scuttle Crab.
Meiko going to show his way in mid lane as well. Tian going to try to cross the gap here as well. So a little bit of movement up this way. We do have a potential for focus towards top side. XiaoHao spotted out by the hawk shot from Meiko all the way across.
Just going to keep up some good information, which, you know, again, I might have been harping on the karma in draft, but just another kind of small thing about Ashe is just that vision control that you are able to keep up. JackeyLove getting pretty close to his Essence Reaver, obviously just coming off base now. Going to wait for him to kill off a few more waves before that one comes out. As compared to Light, just sitting on the serrated Durek and all the longswords. This is when you really start to feel the pain from Draven.
I'm just wondering how they tackle this bottom lane now, because you really want to lead as a Draven. And you really want to get some of those payouts too. So you got to look for Weibo to transition some sort of power towards Light, or he's just not going to have any say in the game. ZDZ gonna dash his way out. Tian not gonna be able to find it.
Yeah, 369 doesn't connect the stun with the W. Sadly, then maybe you could have been able to get something with the Poppy, but isn't going to land. Still, I like the Tian's trying to put up some pressure, but has all his bot side camps up now. I mean, his blue buff's going to be up very soon, so makes sense to go down there, start putting some pressure for Dragon.
Oh.
XiaoHao.
Oh, no.
Ward.
Oh,
does he find the timing? Does he find the timing?
Oh, no. Oh! It actually goes away. All right. XiaoHao's got to move.
I guess they might have been timing it themselves anyway. I mean, he waited. He waited for that last second to go down.
Ooh, flashes come out. XiaoHao was right there ready to go, but he does show his hand.
Yeah, not being able to get anything. Flash still going to be a good shout for him, because now it's going to be very dangerous if, you know, Meiko walks up and they start going for any type of dragon play. You are still up against a Lee Sin and a LeBlanc. Once Light gets his axes in there as well to throw the ult, that's 3 people able to just attack you out of nowhere.
2-time XiaoHao has been a little bit eager on the trigger pull on his safeguard. He's not going to find an engagement. ZDZ is going to use the all-out top as well as Meganar used from 369. Dragon goes to top esports.
Yeah, we can see Weibo, their bot lane, just moving up in the lane. They might open themselves up to a gank. Jennifer Slayer.
Oh, it does connect, and that CC is long. Chris going to be locked down. Tian coming to say hi to his former teammate, but it's Light they were going after. No, Chris! He's giving away his life. Can XiaoHao make it worth it? It does not look like that'll be the case.
Like you said, Chris, what are you... I mean, I see the angle, right? He's hoping to pull him. Lee Sin gets here faster. The burst is there, but top esports only furthering their lead. I mean, I feel like we point out a big gold lead at 10 minutes every game, so it actually doesn't sound that amazing. It just happens every game, but 3K, 10 minutes, sitting pretty for TES.
And it's just really good that it's on JackeyLove. Again, a centerpiece that we feel like really has been the cornerstone of building around for top esports. And a couple moments really not going his way last year was the difference maker. But here we actually see a nice combo to make sure they have presence.
I mean, right, Weibo trying to just get that wave pushed in very deep, sets themselves to be open up to the Crisero. Here, you could see it, right? Locking them in place, trying to buy enough time for XiaoHao to get here and maybe take one out. I think Chris knows there he will die 100%.
Yeah, I think he dies either way, right? Just trying to give in a little bit more if they can catch under the turret for a little bit longer as well. But just can't. Meiko now out on the roam, so is Crisp. And some likely duos going to be doing battle here shortly.
Yeah, we even see JackeyLove starting to move up for now. I kind of want to bring that conversation back, right, about us saying JackeyLove the centerpiece, because this is going to sound really weird, but I feel like today, like in 2024, JackeyLove kind of underrated, which sounds crazy, but again, JackeyLove had a great year last year. Like, JackeyLove just was one of the best, was an absolute carry for TES, and I feel like the stigma of like maybe some past year's performances really kind of overstayed their welcome.
But I think you can't also discount the bad moments we've seen. Like, when he picks up the Ezreal, my first flashback is to his backwards Ez ulti that cost them the game. There's a couple moments last year that you see him overextend, and really that is where a lot of the community sentiment has come negatively on him. But we've seen him consistently over the time. He had a great season. It's just a few moments that go lacking.
Yeah, you know, you hit the nail on the head.
I think it's a really interesting conversation because I find so much strength through JackeyLove, and everybody doubts him every year. And then we find him in the conversation at the end of the year every time. Like, they were literally one game away from Worlds this last year, and it would have been a different story, it feels like. But we are getting a little bit of movement from Tian in that invade cycle up here on the top side.
Yeah, we're going to... I mean, he's going to spot it on a ward, right? How much can ZDZ do to survive here? XiaoHao not too far away. So 2v2, hell, even look at the minimap. Even Xiaohu is kind of angling up. So top esports have to call him audit on that the last second, knowing they can't find anything here. And I think for them it's fine, right? 369. As long as he's being covered by the Poppy, he's winning in the 1v1. He's already taken 3 plates. Your bot lane, look at the vision control around bot side for TES. Like, I guess you can't see now at the untimely replay, but there is so much. All their lanes feeling completely safe.
Double stop back down there as well with that enchanted Crisero is actually insane. Also, all 6 grubs taken by top esports. And now we'll see if that siege is really going to work out here. They've almost got 4 plates bot side.
Yeah, and it's just looking like how it has in in every TES win so far, even in their game against BLG, right? Which really just coming down to pure domination. Tian doing a great job of setting up the vision control and letting it happen.
You just used that on me, man.
Oh, God. Even finishing it off, you know, right at the end, getting it before plays would have gone down or anything. Now they can easily start rotating around the map. You're going to get Creme starting to be in a side lane. And yeah, I mean, that actually might be an area where Xiaohu can exploit, because Xiaohu's actually been sitting on his Ludens for a little bit now, so having that first item, you would expect Creme to be able to finish his off with his back now.
I know the audience couldn't see it, but we get to see a sneak peek of some stats, and Top Esports have an 80% win percentage when they get first turret, which is actually insane. Also, that player gold stat, those are the exact people you want to have all that gold, especially when it's 369 on the Gnar and Creme on the Isakali, but JackeyLove really rounding out the strong points here in this game.
Yeah, now, I mean, now should be a pretty easy time, right? You have Herald up. You'd expect him to easily be able to start playing around that. They have 6 scrubs already laying down siege to the mid lane turret, so they have such an easy time of generating prio. You can see what Weibo are trying to do here, trying to utilize Fog of War, trying to make the brush plays with the Nautilus and the Lee Sin, but TS so far taking some pretty safe routes between their lanes.
And Tian's been able to man match XiaoHao a lot of this game so far too, just the pathing there. But now Weibo looking to make a play on top side. I think they're going to try to find a newly minied mini Gnar. Meanwhile, Top Esports using the 6 grubs to take down a mid-outer tower here too. So 2 turrets already going the way of Top Esports.
We're going to see if they expect XiaoHao coming from behind. Chris right behind him.
They never expect the 2-minute flank from XiaoHao and Chris. Oh, Chris walked forward and XiaoHao did not go forward.
They expected it.
There's a little bit of a miscommunication here, and I think both of them are in a bit of trouble now. ZDZ has also joined that trouble pile, but he does get the triple knockback. It looks cool as they walk away. But it is Top Esports who take advantage of that miscommunication.
And now, with health bars being chunked, with resets needing to come through, Weibo don't even get to trade for Dragon. They just have to go and look for the recalls, and Top Esports aren't even going to let them have those for free.
God, that last poke hitting means Creme was looking for it. He is still going for it. Did have the vision on everybody, and does go right back out after that one. Rift Herald going the way of Tian and top.
And now TS actually going to pivot up towards top side. Allow 369 to take another turret. Now
God.
You go for recalls. You had bot dragons there. It's just everything.
It's just
right
all
now lining
perfect.
up.
All the timing is perfect.
7K. 7K is our number now.
Sheesh.
Yeah, huge.
That's a big lead. That's and you know, some big pivotal members having those leads. The question is, now they also have a little bit of too many options. They have the Rift Herald too. To try to find how to utilize that now that all the outer towers are kind of broken out is going to be a lot more difficult. But they're going to try to force over this dragon first.
Yeah, and they're going to have some options with how they can use that, which I guess we'll talk about in a second after we see what should be Weibo just giving this one up. I would assume if Weibo go for the contest. I mean, I guess the most you can hope for is just trying to send Xiaohu into the steal and then having his W to try to escape over the wall, right? But there should be no world where they can actually fight for this. There isn't. So now I want to see, like, with Herald, right? Because we could either see them heavily lean around mid, utilize the siege potential, arrow.
Nobody is mid lane to protect against this except for Light, and that's not who you want guarding the door. As now it's already the push of mid lane. They also have the Rift Herald, and people are still trying to get back mid from Weibo.
No. They want more than that. They're actually going to try and pick off the Casante too.
Oh, the wall is there. You got to be careful. He's unstopped. Beautiful stop by 369 though. And now you got to see the re-engage with the all-out from ZDZ. Okay, he's trying to make some moves happen. Tian ends up getting the ground pound, and he's out of there.
And now, if they had a wave a bit closer, they're actually going to completely transition up the top side for that push. But seems they're fine leaving. Oh, Meiko with the flash.
Meiko gets caught. He doesn't get the combo used on him. Xiaohu comes over the top and gets it in the end. But they have way overextended themselves, and JackeyLove is the strong point. My God, that was one mystic shot. And it's Crisp Light forfeit once again. A big catch in from Light. He gets over 900 gold, and he's looking for more too. He can't get that final auto. His teammates are gone, and now he's about to join them. As to JV Jones' locker goes Weibo.
And a 2 for 5 going in favor of TES. Sadly, the first one they found wasn't the Ezreal. And I mean, it's going to be nice, right? You're going to have picked off some bounties there is... I don't know, man. It's didn't even really close the gold lead whatsoever. In fact, the TES were able to finish them all off.
They're almost at 10,000 now. It actually seems like the gold league got further
away.
Yeah. I want to see how much money Light made, though. That was a really big shutdown. I saw 900 go up. 369 actually do a little work there on XiaoHao, but it was a close-knit fight, but it doesn't really matter in the end. We see the combo started off here.
Yeah, gonna start off by finding the pick. No one was around this drive, and sadly, Light just had to accept his fate. And then you got to see Top Esports keep trying to pivot, right? TS move up towards top. Then, sadly, TS getting caught out in mid. But again, everything at first being thrown onto the Ashe means that JackeyLove gets to keep putting down DPS and this army. This army.
I didn't know we were playing StarCraft. I thought this was League of Legends. We got another little charge going around the corner. There goes Tian. As Xiaohu, he's on the back over here. Tian's way far away from his teammates. XiaoHao will end up going down. Xiaohu is still alive. Oh, but he gets caught as he goes back to his clone. Now Tian's actually caught ZDZ here. 369 gonna lose his Meganar as he comes to it. And I think the siege ends here for Top Esports.
I'm disappointed. So assuming I remember correctly, the last day I casted, Top Esports broke the fastest game time of the split, and then BLG broke that.
And now then broke it again.
And then, no, sadly, they didn't end up breaking it the second time. It was a little bit under. But if TS then came and broke it here, that would be phenomenal. I don't think they can, though. They'd have to win this game in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to try their darndest, though. They have so many grubs there. Oh, ZDZ gets caught, and here comes the Meganar right into the wall as JackeyLove gets knocked up. But my God, a beautiful enchanted crystal arrow. Light just has to stand there and watch his team be pulled apart. As now they're looking for the end. It's a triple kill for JackeyLove.
And now they're looking for the fastest game time of the split again in their following series. We'll see. With Xiaohu up and with no minions, it doesn't seem like they're actually going to be able to do anything. I got excited, but TES, my God, it is looking scary.
If you wanted a workshop on how to win games in the LPL, well, Top Esports are putting on a clinic right now. It is 11-1 for JackeyLove, the star of the show, and it feels like the star on TES's hearts, as it was a tough fought-out fight. He almost got caught out, but it was just too much of a difference right now in the gold.
Yeah, I mean, right, like the Nautilus ult does connect, but no one's able to follow through. Great arrow coming out from the Ashe with the stun. You just can't do anything.
He didn't go cleanse, though. Like, to be fair, I feel like, you know, if you're facing the Ashe, maybe you go the cleanse, but hey, the heal not coming in clutch.
You're also right in that, like, it's also not like there's like 200 other CCs you have to worry about. It pretty much just is that Ashe arrow. Like, you would have gotten so much value.
Oh no, Chris. Oh my God, it's just a tragedy right now. Tian making sure to give a nice warm hug to his former teammate and making sure Meiko gets that kill. It is TS in full force, now onto the Baron.
And I mean, right, we came in, we once again kind of drafted around some strong lanes. We got comfort champion, XiaoHao. Oh, okay.
Really wanted his grub. I think he's going to pay the ultimate price for it.
Yep.
He did get a nice kick out. Oh my God, Xiaohu is also just dead. Okay, well.
I'm still going to say, though, like, I want to see TES play more without Creme on Akali, on Tristana, on some of these other champions, right? Sitting at, you know, 1 and 2, like 1 win, 2 losses on the Azir so far. You know, do they have these other dimensions, or are we going to have to keep leaning on these champions? And if we do, so be it. There should be enough champions if something gets left through, but...
That's the thing. I know we were talking about the Creme meta earlier, but it's interesting to think because he has a perfectly built kit to take all of the counters of Azir, right? And I think that in itself is a huge conversational point for Top Esports moving forward is they don't need to grab the Azir. Maybe he's not that great on it, but he can absolutely find counters to it. And as we see Top Esports starting to write the last notes in this death note for Weibo Gaming game number 1, it is a swarm and a half at the doorstep as they take down the last Nexus turret. There are some questions left begging for Weibo Gaming as Top Esports take full control and go full throttle to finish out this game number 1. That's the final pieces to the puzzle, and 23 minutes, 27 seconds in, it is all she wrote.
Yeah, TES. I mean, just really coming out with a dominant performance, right? A lot of it starting off from some early game shenaniganry around bot side. Hell, even just the 2v2s from coming through, right? I mean, it looked like early on that JackeyLove and Meiko got themselves in over their heads at level 1. But that's not what happened. Actually, they just baited Weibo's bot lane into coming in too close, taking all that damage from minions. JackeyLove's still able to throw out those mystic shots, and from there, they just took over.
And it's crazy that I'm not going to say that that's an exact representation of the new strength that Ezreal will have, but we've seen multiple games now where those level 1 Qs do so much damage, and that was against a Draven. As an ADC player, I'm not nearly as good as guy. I know not to go against a level 1 Draven, but they were confident in it, and they were able to pull it out, ended up with that double kill, and then snowballed it from there. Incredible game number 1 from Top Esports. We'll see if Weibo have a fighting chance to push us all 3 for our final series.